Are you tired of waiting for your PC to start up? Or always being the last one to load in your games while your friends make fun of you? Don't worry. Today, we'll go over a couple ways to make your PC faster without spending a fortune. Whether you have a few bucks to spare or prefer the free options, today we've got you covered. Let's start with the basics. A clean and dust-free PC outperforms a dirty fan-clogged one any day. Invest in an air duster or an electric dust blower to make the cleaning process easier. Avoid using a vacuum cleaner or a high PSI air compressor, as they can create static discharge, potentially damaging your PC components. Accumulated dust and pet hair restrict airflow, causing your PC to overheat and thermal throttle, which can harm your hardware. Keep your PC clean for optimal performance. Over time, you might have installed numerous programs and game launchers that automatically start with your PC. Let's identify those programs that are slowing down your startup process. On Windows 10 and 11, we can go to Task Manager by navigating to the taskbar, right-clicking, and searching for Task Manager. On Windows 10, we need to look for Startup, and on Windows 11, we need to find Startup Apps. Now we'll have a list on status on what apps are enabled and disabled at startup on Windows. Now this is more of a personal choice on what apps you want enabled and disabled, so I'll let you decide. Personally, I don't like my game launchers launching on startup just because sometimes I might not use them. This is also a good time to maybe kind of go through your programs and maybe uninstall a few of them if you're not using them anymore, as they can save up space on your hard drive. Next is storage optimization. Storage plays a vital role in PC performance. I always recommend keeping your operating system on its own drive, preferably a speedy SSD or M.2 drive. These drives have become more affordable, making them an easy and cost-effective upgrade. Make sure to install other programs and games on separate drives. Many people neglect this, resulting in a nearly full C drive, which is where your operating is installed, which slows down the entire system. Tip 4, keep your PC up to date. Regular updates ensure your PC functions smoothly. Check for Windows updates and update your graphic card drivers. Additionally, search for the latest BIOS update for your motherboard model to address stability issues, especially with newer CPUs. While looking for BIOS updates, also download the latest driver chipset drivers. If you're unsure about updating your BIOS, a quick Google search will provide you guidance. Now we're going to be downloading MSI Afterburner. MSI Afterburner is an overclocking tool that will allow us to push our GPU just a little bit further, but in a safe way. So nothing too crazy. But also, we're going to need a benchmarking tool as well. You can use games like Call of Duty, Forza 5, Cyberpunk. They all come with their own built-in benchmarking tool, but we're not going to use that today. We're going to be using a free version of 3D Mark. Now, when you go on Steam and look at it, it will say that it costs $35, but on the right-hand side, it will also say free demo. So don't worry, don't freak out. Now let's move over and get all that started. So first, initially, you're going to want to launch 3D Mark, kind of get the initial start to it before you apply any of the boosts from MSI Afterburner. So let's launch 3D Mark, get our initial score, and then see where we're at from there. All right, 3D Mark started, and as you see, we only get TimeSpy. Like I said, it is a demo version, so it's only going to give us one test, but it will display all the scores we need. Now that we got 3D Mark launched, as you see in the demo version, we only get TimeSpy, which is well enough for this. So we'll get that running. And like I said before, we just want to run an initial test first. So like I said, if you're using Call of Duty, Forza, or whatever game you choose, Borderlands is another one, you want to run the test first before you apply any of MSI's overclocking tools. And this is going to run through a couple tests. Also going to, like I said, test your GPU, test your CPU, your overall system, so it gives you an overall score. So what we want to pay attention to when this is all over is the GPU score, because that's what we want to try to push just a little bit further. And you see right now at the bottom, we've got our frame rate that it's showing us. So hopefully, we write these down. Right now we're about 20, 22, 23. So we'll keep that in mind for when we apply our overclock, see if we can push that just a little bit further. So now that we got a score of 3,377, we want to switch over to MSI app. What I like to do is put a start boost clock of 50 on the core and then start the memory with a 250. We'll hit apply, go ahead and go back to 3D Mark, and we're going to run the test again. Now, at this point, since we have an overclock applied, if the PC crashes, don't freak out. When the PC starts back up, the overclock will not be applied anymore, and therefore, back to normal. Back at this part again, we can see we're holding more higher to that 24, 25 range now on the frames. All right, our test is done. We've got a total score of 3,439, so we did see an improvement off our original since we applied the overclock. So you can always keep pushing that overclock a little bit further and further. We're not going to do that today, so we're just going to go ahead and show you how to make sure this always saves to startup. So we're going to go to our settings. We'll go to general properties, have it start with Windows. You're going to have it start minimize as well. Go ahead and apply. And to save the profile, we're going to hit the little save icon, little floppy disk. Go ahead and click any of the numbers. I'm just going to click 1. Now it's saved. So every time you start your computer, it will start up with the overclock. Lastly, if none of these tips yield satisfactory results, it might be time to consider upgrading your hardware. Modern games have become so demanding. Just look at Cyberpunk, which has even updated its recommended specs since launch. Benchmarking tools like Cinebench and 3D Mark can help you assess your PC's performance and compare it to others. This will assist you in identifying areas where your system falls behind, enabling you to plan your upgrading path accordingly. Thank you for watching. I hope these tips help you make your PC faster, improve your overall gaming experience. Stay tuned for more exciting content, and I'll see you next time.